Gentlemen, concerns have continued to mount over the supply and pricing dynamics of petrol from the Dangote Refinery. This time, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has countered claims by the Muslim rights concern Muric that it seeks to undermine Dangote Refinery by being its sole offtaker. NNPCL said pricing of petrol, including that from the Dangote Refinery, is driven by global market dynamics, not by its involvement. Mikio.
Yes, in the course of last week, at least 2 times, I came on air to say nobody will determine price for Dangote. What we had before is that FEC will determine the price. Absolute rubbish. FEC does not get involved in such things. It is the man who is producing that can put together the cost of production and then communicate that to stakeholders. If at all anybody will get involved with petroleum pricing in our country, it is the NMDPRA, because that is the regulator. So NMDPRA has its men. They have about 18 workers in Dangote Refinery now, monitoring everything that they are doing. Whatever they are not doing right, they tell them. Before, they had just 10. And they were doing shifts of 5. Yes, in that refinery. So today, they've added more people. They added 8 more people. Because with the refinery now set to roll out PMS, they brought in more people. The regulator has brought in more people. So it's the NMDPRA that can discuss pricing.
Not the NNPCL.
Not NNPC. NNPC is a private company in the real sense of the word. Yes, the Nigerian government has tremendous influence on it at this time. There is no way that anybody will expect NNPC to turn itself to a distributor for Dangote. It will not happen. So some of these things were just speculative stories here and there. And if the NNPC will get involved and say, we are going to be the only ones taking PMS from Dangote, it will be very ridiculous, because there are other marketers, Shafa, Rano, Sahara, all of them. People had invested over the years on tank farms, on depots and all that. This is also the opportunity to continue to be big players. So it makes no sense for anyone to expect that, Dangote will be the only one buying from them. Nobody had that conversation. It was just speculation, and Nigerians believed it. It's not everything that we see in newspapers that we should believe.
So that conversation has not also been transparent enough.
NNPC said no. They didn't hear, just like what I was saying on one of the on the Facebook wall. There is no Nigerian, there is no NNPC official who said we are going to be sole buyers of PMS. No, there's no time that they said that. It's Nigerians writing stories that are not true. Writing what we call lagbeleko, what by ononoga we call lagbeleko. You just sit in your office and start writing, and people will buy. So Dangote has the capacity to load more than 280 tankers at the same time. The man prepared for that this refinery business. The man is not joking, and he has capacity to also load vessels. Those Nigerian big marketers, the Shafa and the rest of them, they can bring vessels, get those vessels moored at his port there, load them with product, and then go to their own jetties, go and offload at their jetties. The capacity is there. So we can't have a situation in which it's just going to be NNPC And I'm happy that NNPC, even before this last denial, NNPC came out to say, no, we have no interest in being sole, yes, for Dangote. Well, that would be unbearable monopoly. And the PIA itself clearly stipulates that there should be no monopoly, whether from Dangote or anybody. The PIA, the law, does not permit monopoly. And that's why you see that the NMDPRA have insisted, despite protestations from the Dangote Refinery Company, that they will continue to issue licenses for other people to bring in products. It's because they don't want any form of monopoly to happen. At the end of the day, if Dangote is producing PMS and Shafa and other people bring in PMS from Europe and America, and it's costlier than the one from Dangote, Nigerians will make their choice about which one to buy. But we won't have a situation in which NNPC will be the sole. No, how are they even going to do it? It's not even practicable in the real sense of the word. What is the capacity that they have? How many, what is it called? Because it then means that they would also take care of the retail end. How are they going to do that? Absolutely. NNPC does not really have town farms. They don't. A lot of the vessels coming into Nigeria, because they don't have capacity for storage. What NNPC simply does is to tell them, okay, remain on the ICs, we will soon get to you. So they are using those people more like a storage facility. They are using those vessels because they don't have any. And in the past, when they use people, when they use someone to help them store product, the person eventually helped himself to 11 million liters of NNPC petrol. The person, we don't want to mention the person now because it won't be fair. You know, so this is the thing. It's just rumor elevated to the level of a true news story. No, it's not. That's not what's going to happen.
Mayor, let me come to you. You know, before Dangote Refinery kicked off, Nigerians were hopeful that it would guarantee low prices. But NNPCL is saying no. According to them, there is no guarantee of lower prices associated with domestic refinery or domestic refining compared to any global parity pricing framework.
Yes, what refineries will do for you is availability of product, not pricing. Because the pricing as it is being subsidized. And when you run a refinery, NNPC, even when they are supplying you products, until lately, when the president issued an order that they should sell to Dangote and the other refineries in Naira, before they will calculate the price of that crude in hard currency, because it's an international product. So even when you want to pay in Naira now, you are still going to pay that international price. So the only thing you are removing, apart from the cost, is landing costs and those things. So over time, by the time Dangote Refinery is fully on stream, it is possible that the price could go slightly down from what obtains now. Because after some time, they were able to get it right. They are paying Naira for the crude. So that cost will not be as much as if they had imported the crude from America or from Venezuela or something. So, but it's going to be marginal. What you are going to gain is availability of products. That is one. Two, it is not possible, like I said, for NNPCL to be the sole offtaker. Why people believe they will be offtaker is because Alaji said, oh, they are still having discussion with NNPL. And the discussion is because NNPL will have a lot of influence about how things are done, because one, they're a stakeholder in Dangote Refinery. Then two, they are going to supply most of the crude that they're going to use. And now they're going to sell it to them in Naira, which is a concession. So they too can expect a concession in return from Dangote Refinery. It's only natural to believe so. But they cannot be the sole offtaker because it is not only NNPCL that imports petrol. I've discovered that other majors also import, but they use NNPCL platform to do so.
Yes.
You understand? That is why, if you notice now that NNPCL does not have fuel in their own stations, Mobil, Total, MRS, they're still selling because they have their own fuel that they can sell, which they imported using the same arrangement NNPC platform to be able to do that. So if that is the case, you cannot ask NNPCL to be the sole offtaker, because if you do that, these other people that I've mentioned will not be able to do business. So that is what people just assume that, yes, NNPC is going to have advantage.
People who are thinking along that line is because they assume that subsidy will continue and that NNPC will get involved and say, no, we don't want you to sell beyond 900 naira per liter, for example, because if they were to factor costs and everything, there's no way Dangote will sell below 1,000 naira. So some people are thinking, okay, government may not want the price to go higher. And for that reason, we'll probably have a discussion, which would then mean that even what Dangote is producing could be subsidized a little bit. And at that point, NNPC may get involved. But NNPC does not have the capacity to even be the sole offtaker. How do they evacuate?
They don't even have the resources.
How do they evacuate the thing? Every day they will be producing PMS. Where are they going to store it? Where are the NNPC tank farms? Are they going to take PMS from him and go and store in those their vessels on the high seas? People don't know some of these things. That NNPC is not like those major marketers that have tank farms all over the place where they can store. They don't.
But sometimes they rent, but they don't have at all.
They don't have the capacity. And then, if you want to be sole offtaker, you also must prepare for the retail end.
Okay.
Where are their tankers? The capacity that some of these marketers have, they don't have. So they can't even do that job. And they are not interested in doing that job. They would rather like to see a situation in which others can get involved. Even in the past, as he said, NNPC permitted some marketers to import on his behalf. I refer to what happened with the petrol that was smelling that they brought the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we started investigating, it was discovered that it was one of NNPC's agents. But we always hear that, oh, it's only NNPC that is importing. It's not accurate. People have had to import on their behalf. You know, so I'm kind of worried about how much we may eventually be buying this product, because my suspicion is that government will use this opportunity.
But it's already 60 something now.
Huh?
It's already, you already increased the price.
Yes, government will use this opportunity to because NNPC was saying even now at 800 and something
890?
that it is still below
Yes, landing cost.
So,
but when you look at, if you look at Dangote, what I suspect is that maybe in their interaction with Dangote, they've realized that the unit cost will be around that 890.
No, it will be higher than that.
It should be slightly higher than that because, because they said landing cost was 1,200 before. So I was just thinking that if you remove all the other costs...
And they said the freight costs, insurance, tax, that they are not really huge. They are just marginal.
Okay.
That's what they are saying. So people felt that this thing will lead to a crash in petrol. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What I sense could help us, if these mad people quarreling with one another in Ukraine, if the war stops today,
yes, things will be better. Yes,
the price of crude oil in the international market will go down.
Will go down.
If Israel stops fighting with Hamas today, it will impact on crude oil. I mean, there was a time that it came to like $30 during Buhari's time.
Yes. So even sometimes less than 30.
Yes, if it comes down to that level, they will have no reason to continue to sell to us at a very high price. So it will then mean that the price will go down. Buhari at a point told us no more subsidy. It was because the price came down
at that time,
significantly that time. Suddenly it went up again, and we saw that the government increased fuel price again.
Interesting. Gentlemen, let's